no better way to prepare for a final battle than a nice relaxing spa with my ladies. Hello everyone, I am Third Mario Brother and welcome back to Pokemon Emerald. Last time, we explored the Battle Frontier, which is the final thing that I wanted to do before ending off this Let's Play. However, there is one last opponent remaining in the Hoenn region that has not yet been defeated, who we must surpass if we truly want to call ourselves the strongest in the region. And that opponent will be hiding out in Meteor Falls, just south of Fall Arbor Town. So let's head there right now, and I've got to say, really? What would a finale of a Pokemon game be without random annoying encounters? But I've got to say, this was the first Pokemon game that I decided to take on my channel, and I am so glad that I did. It turned out to be one of the most fun experiences that I've had with a Let's Play so far, and you guys being involved with it made it all that much better. You guys crafted like half of this team and gave me awesome nickname suggestions and all of that kind of stuff, and I'm so glad that we were here to have this experience together. And honestly, Pokemon Emerald was super fun, so let's definitely go out with a bang in this episode. But with that, we have entered Meteor Falls, and this is a very, I want to say it's a fitting location for a final battle, but only on some levels. It's definitely a magical place, and definitely a daunting and imposing one, especially with this music. So I think it is a proper place to end off the Let's Play. By the way, I taught Dishwater Waterfall in place of, what was it, Dive, which I had on her before, because she's not going to need more than the 3 useful moves that she has. And yeah, you go through all kinds of ladders and stuff to get here, so it's a bit of an obscure location, the final battle of Pokemon Emerald, but I think it fits this final character quite well. Now we go through here, and this is the room that contains the final battle, but I have to note real quick, if you are playing on a normal Game Boy Advance cartridge, make sure you save right now, because this battle is incredibly difficult. In fact, it's so difficult that I busted my butt to level up our team like 10 or 12 levels each, and they are still not nearly strong enough, or as strong as they're supposed to be at this point. We're still like 20 levels under leveled, and you can see that we're approaching level 60 with a lot of these guys. Now, let's have one last look at the team before we end off the game. Shock the naive Manectric, who might be a little shy in social situations, but will definitely mess you up if you look at her the wrong way. Still has the same moveset as before, but Heretic the Heracross, now level 54, has learned the move Mega Horn, the move that I've been talking about all this time. 120 power, 85 accuracy, which we're finally going to get to show off in the very last episode of this game, and I'm super excited about it. Then Ashley the Torkoal, which you guys 100% selected for me, and I am glad that you did, because I love having this thing on my team. Same moveset. Swellowship the Swellow, once again the same moveset, who served us from nearly the beginning. The one and only Baconator the Grumpig, with the same moveset, who is dancing and ready to go. And finally, Dishwater, who's been there since the very beginning. I can't believe we raised this thing from a tiny, cute little Mudkip, because Earthquake, Blizzard, Surf, and Waterfall, Dishwater is ready to end off this journey that has been such a long one. Now, our team is all ready, and we are ready to take on the final battle of Pokemon Emerald and the true champion of the Hoenn region, which is Steven Stone. Oh, wow, Brian, I'm amazed you knew where to find me. Do you, maybe think of me as just a rock maniac? No, that can't be right. We battled alongside each other at the Sutopolis Space Center. You should have a very good idea about how good I am. Okay, Brian, if you're going to mount a serious challenge, expect the worst. And that's right, the final battle, the super boss of Pokemon Emerald is Steven Stone, who has such a high opinion of himself, even though he didn't know that it was the Moss Deep Space Center. Man, we were there together, and Sutopolis doesn't even have a Space Center. How could you forget something like that? But he is an incredibly powerful trainer, being the former champion of the Hoenn region, or at least the champion in Ruby and Sapphire. He is going to lead off with an incredibly powerful Skarmory, which I expect is going to go for spikes right off the bat, because that's what this thing tends to do. It is weak to fire and electric. Okay, it's going for Steel Wing. Didn't expect that, but you know what? I'll take it. I will take the lack of spikes on the field. It's weak to electric and fire moves, so lead off with a Pokemon with one of those, especially since it doesn't have the best special defense in the world. But Steven is the final battle of Pokemon Emerald, and I'm so glad they kept him in here in one way or another. I think I preferred him as the champion, because having the champion be someone who followed us and watched us and helped us grow along our journey, I feel is a lot more personal than than Wallace, who sort of wasn't there the entire journey. But either way, he's going to switch into his Aggron now, which is a very powerful Pokemon. But it has a couple interesting moves. It's got Thunder on it, and it's got Solar Beam. So if I send out Dishwater, it's going to start charging up a Solar Beam, is my prediction. I think with our Soft Sand and our higher attack stat, Earthquake is going to be stronger than Surf, so let's do that. Yep. Aggron is taking in Sunlight, just as I expected, and now we're going to Earthquake with Dishwater. So how much can you do to him? Let's see. This thing is 4 times weak to ground, but it's a defensive monster, so it's still going to live that. And with that, we can switch out to Swellowship, whose primary role in this battle is not going to be Death Water, but is going to be as a barrier, because this Aggron is going to use Solar Beam, and Swellowship is going to resist that like it isn't nothing, man. Look at that. Not even half of our health is gone from that, from this mighty Aggron. Now, there are 2 things that could happen here. It's going to either go for Thunder to try to kill Swellowship, or Steven's going to use a Full Restore. Either way, we can switch back into Dishwater for free and not take any damage for it. So, let's see. What are you going to do, Steven? What do you got under your belt? Yep, he's going for the Full Restore. And man, you would think that the strongest Pokemon trainer in the Hoenn region wouldn't resort to using items on some random kid that he saw running around. Well, I guess we technically are the champion now, so we're not just a random kid anymore, but you would think that he wouldn't resort to using items so heavily. So, he charged up Sunlight once again, and we can just wash, rinse, and repeat with this strategy, which is actually very, very helpful. So Swellowship ends up playing a key role in this battle, because Steven has got 3, count them, 1, 2, 3 Full Restores to use on you. Or on his Pokemon, rather. But it's super annoying for you, because in the meantime, he's got super powerful Pokemon later on that if you status them, they just get cured by Full Restore. So, having him use all of his items this early in the battle is such a good tactic and such a helpful one, too. And he's got Dragon Claw as well, which is, once again, a bit of a weird choice. But it looks like he is done with his healing up. So let's just go ahead and use Surf, I suppose. Yep, he is charging Sunlight once again, and he has 1 Full Restore left we have to be careful of, but for now, this Aggron is down, and that's all that really matters. What are you going to come at us with next, Steven? What do you got? And I've got to say, Steven is my favorite champion out of any champion in any of the Pokemon games, hands down. This guy is so cool. He's got such an awesome design, plus he uses Steel types, which are so unique from all the other types. Put all this together and put the fact that he's a little bit eccentric on top of that, on top of being super cool and super quiet. I don't know. I love Steven so much more than any other champion in any Pokemon game. And now he's coming at us with Cradily. Do not let this thing set up. It has Ancient Power, and if it gets an all-stat buff, which Ancient Power has a small chance of doing, you are screwed, because this thing will set up Ingrain, and it's super bulky on top of that, so you're not going to have a very good day. But luckily, we have got Heretic on our side, who has the powerful Mega Horn. Look at this animation. Look at that! Turning the whole world red and flying at him with those yellow streaks around us. That, my friend, is super, super intimidating. And Heretic is going to be a key player in this match. Now, he's going to come at us with Armaldo. And this is one of the ones that I'm not entirely sure what I want to do about it. It is weak to water, and it doesn't have anything that could kill Dishwater very easily, so I think we're going to go out there with Dishwater. Yeah, that sounds good. That is what we are going to do, because we should be able to kill this thing in 2 hits with a Surf at most. After this, though, we've got his 2 most threatening Pokemon, in my opinion. So, Dishwater, use that Surf, and get this freaky Godzilla T-Rex looking clown off the field. He's got like the short little arms, but they're pincers, and he's got the weird eyes just janking out the side of his head. What is up with that, Armaldo? Get out of here. But next, he is going to send out one of his last 2 Pokemon, which are very, very threatening in their own ways. And he's going to use Claydol, which is... ah, man, this thing, it's super, super defensive. On top of that, it has both Reflect and Light Screen. If he sets up either of those, we are in big trouble. So, we're going to go out there with Heretic, even though this thing is a Psychic type, because for some reason, it tends to use Earthquake instead of Psychic, no matter what. At least in my experience. So, he's floating around out there, and we can use this powerful Mega Horn once again. Plus, on top of that, we've got Brick Break. So if he sets up a Reflect like he just did... oh, no, we missed with the Mega Horn. Ooh, that could be bad. That could be very, very problematic. But you see, he's going for Earthquake for whatever reason instead of Psychic, even though that would be super effective on us. But we can break through this Reflect, take care of that, and then hopefully take this thing out with a Mega Horn this turn. That's the one downside to Mega Horn, is that it only has 85 accuracy, so you can expect to miss sometimes. Alright, he's using Light Screen. I'm fine with that for the moment. As long as we hit this and take this Claydol out, that is alright by me. And there we go. We've taken out one of the biggest threats on his team, because this thing can set up and just screw the rest of your team completely over. And now, Metagross is Steven's final Pokemon, and this thing is nothing to be messed with. One of the coolest Pokemon from Hoenn, definitely. A Steel Psychic type. It is great all across the board. It is super powerful in the attacking realm. It's super defensive as well. And even though it's gigantic and horrible and made out of steel and all of these things, it is reasonably fast on top of that too. So I don't even know what the downside to Metagross is. It's so unfair, man. But what do we want to do here? I really am kind of unsure at the moment. It is reasonably fast, so it'll be faster than Dishwater, Ashley, Heretic, and the Baconator at the very least, if we don't status it with something. So I do want to get a Thunder Wave up on it. However, that Light Screen is still up, and I want to go out there with Ashley and hit it, and he'll full restore and get rid of this Thunder Wave. So, ooh, what do I want to do? Well, if we don't hit it with the Thunder Wave, it's faster than pretty much everything. So we just got to go out there with Shock and hope things go our way, I suppose. So, Shock, do it. Get out there. And here it is. Oh my god, it looks so intimidating. This thing. You do not want to mess with this. This will give you nightmares for weeks, everybody. So, hit it with the Thunder Wave. Hope it gets Paralysis this turn or something like that, although that wouldn't be all that helpful. And nope, it's using Psychic, and that is the end of Shock. I wouldn't be so worried about this thing if it weren't for the fact that I'm trying to do this without items. Even though Steven himself is using items, I know. I definitely don't want to do it. Now, the Baconator hasn't seen any action, so I suppose we can send him out there and use Confuse Ray and just see how much that will end up doing to this thing. It has Clear Body, however, so as much as I might want to lower its special defense by using Shadow Ball, that will not happen, and you can't use Smoke Screen or anything else against it either. So we're gonna have a problem here, especially since it just broke through Parafusion and probably killed our Baconator in one hit. Yep, that is the case, but now he is confused, and we have a chance to hit him with some other stuff. Who do I want to go out there with? Dishwater? Well, I want to sort of whittle him down to the point where I think an Earthquake can take him out, because right now, Earthquake will definitely not one-shot this thing. So, Light Screen is still up, so Ashley might not be viable. Let's send out Heretic, break that Light Screen, and see if we can get a little bit more damage off on it while it's out here. So, Brick Break to get rid of the Light Screen. Punch him in the face as well. That's normal effective, but it's not going to do anything at all to this Metagross. God, this Pokemon is just so powerful and is broken through 2 Parafusions now. Luck is on your side, Steven, and it is not smiling upon me today. But we can go out there with Ashley now and hit this thing with a Flamethrower. I don't expect to live more than 1 turn, so if that's the case, this should get it down to the point where he doesn't want to use a full restore, but where he also will be susceptible to death from an Earthquake, and that looks perfect to me. So, Metagross, if you want to hurt yourself, whatever, as long as you don't use a thing next turn, okay. Broke through 3 Parafusions, but it doesn't even matter, because Ashley, you have served quite well. Oh my god, you lived? Seriously? Oh, I forgot it has a Citrus Berry. Okay, we cannot kill from this range with an Earthquake. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? Oh boy, this could be bad, this could be bad, this could be bad. Okay. So Dishwater can only take like 1 attack from this thing right now. Swallowship is faster, so we could whittle it down like a tiny bit, but she's not gonna do like any damage. So and if he heals off that paralysis with a full restore, we are dead, because Dishwater is slower than that thing for sure. I suppose we could just go for a Body Slam. That's pretty much all we can do at this point. It did probably a good 5 HP of damage. He's going to snap out of Confusion and destroy our Ashley, definitely. But it all comes down to this. If this... Actually, you know what? You know what? Okay, your attack rose, I don't even care in the slightest. As long as your defense doesn't raise or anything. I'm going to send out Swellowship. And we're going to hit this thing with, like, an aerial ace. I know it's not going to do very much, but we have to get as much damage off on it as we possibly can before we go for that last earthquake. So, aerial ace. All right. And it all... Oh, it's paralyzed. Awesome. So we can get just a little bit more, whittle it down just a tiny bit, and then it'll come down to this very, very last attack. So use your Psychic Metagross. Doesn't even matter to me. Take me out. It is time. We get one shot at this. If this doesn't kill it, Steven's going to use a full restore, and this battle is over. If this does kill it, we are truly the strongest Pokemon trainer in the Hoenn region. However, we are going to be ending this battle just as we began the game with our Dishwater, who's been there since the very beginning. So, Earthquake Dishwater, end this battle right now and end Pokemon Emerald. Yes! We did it! We killed the Metagross, and I'm sure that was barely enough to do it, but Dishwater came through in the end and defeated Pokemon Trainer Steven. There we go. We are officially the strongest trainer in the Hoenn region. I had no idea you'd become so strong. We got $4,680 for winning, but that doesn't even matter anymore. Come to think of it, ever since our paths first crossed in Granite Cave in Dewford, I had this feeling. I thought that you would eventually become the champion. My predictions usually come true. And where will you go from here? Even I couldn't tell you that. And that, my friends, is the true end of Pokemon Emerald. That's right, there's nothing cinematic that happens after you defeat Steven for the final time or anything like that. So here we are, back at the credits that we've already seen one time. But that was the end of our Pokemon journey in the Hoenn region, and that was the end of a great adventure, and what I believe to be a great Let's Play. At the very least, it was so much fun to do, and you guys who have been wondering can definitely expect more Pokemon content on the channel in the future, and even in the near future. And regarding Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, this is like my favorite Pokemon generation right here. 3rd gen is my jam. It has been my jam since I was a kid. So you can definitely expect playthroughs of those games when they come out. So, we just defeated Steven, definitely the coolest champion out of any of them ever. And certainly way cooler than Wallace. Oh my gosh, there's like no competition there. But, thank you all so much, so very much for sticking with me throughout this project. I was taking a bit of a gamble with this one. Even though Pokemon is a mainstream Nintendo franchise and it had been requested a little bit, I had no idea how this was going to go, playing through a really long, detailed RPG, but you guys were there every step of the way, even helping me make teams and stuff like that, and I'm super grateful for it. We would not have had Ashley or her nickname on the team at all whatsoever. I would have gone with the Glalie if it wasn't for you guys, and what the heck? Who uses Glalie? No, I'm kidding. Glalie is a pretty cool Pokemon in my opinion, just not a very useful one. But we wouldn't have had Heretic's nickname. We wouldn't have had quite the adventure that we did have if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you all so much for your support throughout, and I really hope that you guys enjoy this project because I know that I certainly have. It's been super fun. And Pokemon Emerald is one of my favorite Pokemon games, and one of my favorite generations is Gen 3 because Hoenn is such a unique region. You've got such a variety of areas. The Ash Falling Place, just east of Fall Arbor Town. The desert. You've got Tree City, probably one of the coolest cities in all of Pokemon. Pacific Log Town, such cool environments, along with one of the best Pokemon soundtracks to date. And on top of that, of course, you've got secret bases. I mean, who could argue that? Plus the character designs here. I love all the Pokemon. I love pretty much all the gym leaders, except for Juan. Wallace should definitely be the 8th gym leader. He does serve great as a gym leader, but not so much as the champion. It's got the coolest champion. And honestly, all these things together, along with your guys' support, have made this one of my favorite Let's Plays to do and made it such a fun adventure. So thank you all so much once again for watching. I cannot thank you enough. And I will see you guys in another Let's Play, perhaps in another Pokemon game. But regardless, I will see you all next time.